Hi everybody, it's Friday, October 22nd, 2010. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know about you, but it's really disturbing to me when I see the Chancellor of Germany get on television before a huge crowd and say that multiculturalism has failed. To me, that's not kosher. That's not something that I can easily forget about. The Chancellor of Germany basically saying that maybe racism wasn't such a bad idea. Well, I disagree. I think that racism is a really bad idea. And I don't think that multiculturalism was what really failed. I think that unbridled capitalism failed, and militarism has failed, and exploiting human resources and natural resources in a reckless fashion has failed. I think that the current troubles we're having now are much deeper than just simple economics. It's about a deficit of democracy. It's about a definite deficit of wisdom among the ruling classes. It's about how the UN isn't really what it's supposed to be or what it should be. It's just a fig leaf for American power. Is all it is. And the world has gotten to the point where we need more than that in order to advance or even to survive. We need real global leadership and global wisdom. There's certain things that we need to address, and they're not that hard to address, but they need to be addressed, and we're not doing it. And because of this, we're having all sorts of problems. And of course, the Chancellor of Germany doesn't want to say that the government has failed, or that the international community has failed, or that America has failed. She wants to say that multiculturalism has failed. It wasn't Goldman Sachs that wrecked the economy, it was the Muslims. It was the immigrants, it was the Africans, maybe. Maybe it was the Jews, It was the people who are different, the homosexuals, they did it, right? So, that's a really disturbing thing to me, that the Chancellor of Germany got up in front of a huge crowd of people and said that multiculturalism was bad, and people cheered and clapped. And they really don't even have it that bad in Germany, from what I understand. I mean, their economy hasn't really collapsed or anything. It's probably not as bad as in the U.S., And we really don't have it that bad here yet. It's bad, but it could be a lot worse. And we have a lot of racism and a lot of xenophobia here too. And we have candidates running for office who are only supported by extremists, but there seem to be a lot of them. So, like I mentioned in my previous video, there's, the middle ground has been lost. We have a situation, I saw on the Young Turks, I definitely recommend you check out the Young Turks. It's like the best TV show that you can find, one of the best. And they had a member of the Reagan administration on, a former member of the Reagan administration, and he was talking about how he couldn't believe how right-wing Obama is. He couldn't believe that Obama was so extreme right. His policies, what he was doing, that the Reagan administration never would have done. Now think about that for a second. Think about the fact that Obama is supposed to be such a pinko liberal commie, but he's a fascist capitalist compared to Ronald Reagan. And I'm not just saying that. That's just the opinion of one of the members of the Reagan administration. Okay, maybe he's wrong, but that's his opinion. So, I mean, that is amazing that he could even think that, right? So I saw that on the Young Turks, and I saw clips of some of these Tea Party candidates, and the thing that came to mind, okay, I'm a big fan of The Office, the British and the American versions. They're both good in their own way. They're very different, but they're good in their own way. And there was an outtake from the American version where Michael Scott is congratulating Daryl and maybe Kelly, because he's not sure. He's congratulating them on the election of Barack Obama. He's talking about how now they're the man and now they can't jump or dance, right? And they have all this responsibility and they're going to have to just bite their tongues all the time because they know if they say what they want to say that they'll be called a racist. Okay, and it was so hilarious. I don't know why they took that out. Maybe it was just too honest and they had to take it out. But, he said the most horrible, god-awful things. And Daryl, as usual, has that look on his face of extreme conflicted emotion. Like he wants to just laugh and he wants to cry at the same time, right? It's brilliant, the actor that's playing that. You just get a sense of just how conflicted and how, internally he's struggling over so many things when he's listening to Michael Scott. But he just humors him and says, yeah, okay, we're in charge now. We'll make some new rules. You can't watch Morgan Freeman movies anymore. And the things that he was saying were just so horrible and so god-awful. But, I always thought that The Office was really over the top, that people wouldn't really do and say those things. But now, lo and behold, you can look at these political debates and see people doing the Michael Scott constantly, saying things that are even worse than, what Michael Scott would say, like the woman, the Tea Party candidate, can't think of her name, maybe Sharon Angle, maybe somebody else, telling that a group of Hispanics that they looked like Asians to her, as if that was a compliment or, some kind of attempt to be fair to them, right? Well, maybe you're not really Mexicans. Maybe you're just Asian. I don't know, right? It's just amazing what these people are doing and saying, and they're credible candidates for office in this country. It's really shocking. But, okay, the thing is, things are bad in this country. We all know it. And we know that it's going to get worse. And what you have to decide is, okay, in the 1930s, the racists and the nationalists were overrun by the socialists. And that's why things worked out the way they did. Okay, maybe you don't like that word socialism. It's too much like sharing. But that's what happened. The racists were defeated by the socialists. Now we're about to have the rematch of that battle. And so you have to decide, what side are you on? Are you going to be on the side of the fascists or the socialists? Are you going to be pushing for social justice, or are you going to be pushing for purity and pushing out the immigrants? Thanks for watching.